Bye home. Oh no. I can't believe some of you. Boring. We are back again with another Reddit video. We're obsessed, clearly. I love Reddit. Reddit is that girl, and they have the most interesting stories on threads of there. Today we're going to be reading this thread called True Off My Chest. But I must give like a little trigger warning if you decide to go and have a look yourself. There is a lot of dark stuff on that thread, so just be prepared to be on that thread. So I'm going to be reading it off my phone, some of these stories, and I'm going to be reacting to them. Okay, this first confession says, overwhelmed by just one day of bridesmaids duties. Oh girl, I've never been a bridesmaid before, but I can see why that can be overwhelming. I can just see a very lovely and good friend of mine asked me to be her bridesmaid, and I'm so honored. When I finally become somebody's bridesmaid, I think I'm gonna actually cry. Like I can't wait to be somebody's bridesmaid, and I can't wait to be a bride too. So anybody out there trying to make me a bride, send a ring to the PO box. However, we had our first day of bridesmaids duty lined up very soon, and it sounded utterly exhausting. One of my biggest fears is being the bridesmaid of somebody that's just like too much. I don't want to. Oh girl, let's get into the story. It's not that I don't want to support her on this journey and not be there to partake in such joyous occasion, but holy shit, 4 dress fittings in 3 different cities scheduled over almost a 10-hour day. That is too much. How do you get to 3 cities in 10 hours? That sounds crazy. That is too much. That is just too, what was the point of that? I understand like the bride is the, you know, she's a star of the show and stuff, but don't overdo it. Like I really hate when people overdo it like on their birthdays and stuff like that. Like we're here for you, we're here to celebrate, but when you start taking the piss, it just makes people not want to do things for you. No one else thinks this is a little too intense. So I'm going to try and do my best to stick up and make this day about strengthening our group's bond and supporting her throughout this. My issue is that I am the only one of us still in school, and it's draining. I am working almost 30 hours a week, entirely customizable hours spread throughout 7 days of the week. My job is related to my degree, so it's not too awful, on top of school. But such little sleep, both this week and last week, that I knocked out twice when I went to sit down. The day before it happened, I spent the majority of the day almost vomiting from the stress I put on my body. Wow. Okay, if you're that stressed, you might have to just like tell her that you have to sit this one out. That stress that you're vomiting, that's wow, that's really stressed. However, my body is still on the mend, and I am still swamped with several other responsibilities. My SO, what's SO mean? My SO and I might have to reschedule our Valentine's Day celebration, since we know my body and mental, and it might be too much to do both things after such an intense week for me. I feel so ungrateful to be complaining, and I know the obvious solution is to just bow out, since I obviously can't handle the stress. But I was already excluded from so much from my friends' lives due to being the only one still in school. I was the only one not involved in my childhood best friend's engagement surprise, and even though they tried to include me as much as possible, I struggle with balancing everything. I live pretty far away from everyone, so it's a struggle to balance school, work, my relationship, my health, my friendship, and everything else. But I don't think I can handle being excluded from anything else. I'm going to suck it up and try act like I'm not actively drowning, as we all often do. Oh my gosh, I feel like that's too much. I feel like if you're under that much stress, why put that much stress on you? What I will do is figure out if I need to be at all of those dress fittings. Do you need to go to all of them? Why do you need 4 dress fittings? I just don't get it. I just don't get why that's necessary. If I was in her shoes, I would go to the necessary dress fittings and then just make sure I'm there for the, you know, the bachelorette party. I make sure I'm there for the bridal party, there for the wedding. But like putting on such an unnecessary stress on yourself is just too much. I'm gonna read what some of the comments say. Someone said, step back, decline, no harm in it, that's excessive. See if you can be in the party but participate less. I just feel like that's so much though. And I just feel like sometimes your friends have to understand where you're coming from and where you're at. If your friends are not understanding of your situation and they make you feel bad for your situations, maybe those people are actually not your friends like you think they are. And I know it's about you, because it doesn't really sound like you're complaining about your friends, it's about you. And I can totally understand that, because I live far away from some of my friends, and sometimes I feel so guilty, and my family, and I feel so guilty for missing out on things sometimes. Like the guilt is just so shackling, and you just want to be there for every moment. And sometimes a bit of understanding is necessary. But to be fair, if you're driving to all those different cities. You can sleep in the car though. Slyly, you can sleep in the car and just wake up and get fitted and go. But I just feel like you're gonna be irritated, your attitude is gonna stink. Because if it was me and I was that tired and had school and I had to drive to 3 different cities and do all these fittings, I would just kind of be like over it. Maybe the younger Lara would put that much stress on herself, but me now, I just know I wouldn't put that much stress on myself. I would just, you know, have to bow out for that. I know it's hard to letting people down, but sometimes you got to. Sometimes you really have to, because you're gonna really stretch yourself in. This comment said, in what world does anyone need 4 dress fittings? That's what I don't understand. This is beyond excessive. Do not feel bad about needing to bow out. Just tell her you've got too much on your plate right now. Tell her you'll be happy to support her as a guest. Oh no, I don't think you should be a guest though. I just feel like 4 fittings is excessive, and she might be a bridezilla, but I feel like this whole bridezilla thing is not cool. Like, we want to be there, we want to be supportive. Don't make it hard for people to support you, because that's just not on, in my opinion. Like, I know people try and like glamorize that, or make you feel bad for kind of checking someone, but I'm so sorry. Like, people that do too much on their events and their celebrations are just annoying. I can't lie. It just makes you not want to celebrate nothing with them ever. Let's go on to the next confession. This says, TikTok ruined my girlfriend's view about relationships. I do think social media is dangerous to relationships, because some of the things I see on TikTok specifically is just ridiculous. I also feel like some of these TikToks are putting guys in their place and like just letting you know that we're not accepting less anymore. We're over that. Like, step up your game, because if you don't, we will. It's not like somebody else will. We will do it ourselves. So step up your game. But let's just read what he said. He said, I'm starting this by saying what I've done. I've given my all since the beginning of the relationship. I've wanted to share my interests with her, learn more about her interests, and start new journeys with her. I have never cheated nor looked at another woman in that type of way. No matter how upset I may seem, I've always been loyal and doing the best for her. Now, on to what I'm here for. My girlfriend's TikTok is filled with things like, your man should be doing this, men have to do this, if your man doesn't do this, then leave him. It's completely filled with that, and that's all she sends me. Shade, she is shady, because that's what I do when I'm mad at you. When I see something and I relate on TikTok, I'm sending you that TikTok, because that is you. Learn something. A majority of them I already do / plan on doing, like date night, spending time with her. She had in her mind that she doesn't have to do anything in the slightest, and I'll still do everything TikTok tells me. Absolutely not. If you're expecting me to live this influencer lifestyle, then you can put the bare minimum into this relationship. I try to enjoy her interest even though I don't like it. But at least I try. Whenever I try to share my interest, all she says is ew, then immediately goes back to what she wants. She's so rude, but your interests are probably boring though. Get better interest. She said boring. I tried to send her good morning texts and such, but they ignored. Instead, she sends me 20 TikToks, then responds to the good morning text hours later. When we hang out, the rare times we do, she decides to sit on the complete opposite side of the room every single time. She gives me no type of affection whatsoever. Her justification for all of this is, you're becoming so sassy. You've seen the TikToks I sent you. You're supposed to make me happy. I'm not supposed to make you happy. Oh, that's toxic. She's toxic. Oh my god. She doesn't like you. She's using you. She doesn't like you. She's so toxic. I just thought she doesn't like you, or you're downplaying how shit you are. Because a lot of times I feel like guys don't realize how shit they are. She likes you so much, but it's so hard for her to leave you. So what she's trying to do is change you and mold you into the guy she wants because she likes you. But I think she's just toxic. I don't know. It's either she's toxic or you're just shit. You said you're planning to do. What do you mean planning to do? Take somebody on a date. Taking time on a date and spending time with her. Why do you need TikTok to tell you that? That's the basics. Honey. That's the bare minimum. Again, why would I give her dates, trips, etc. when she treats me like some objects? She loves to brag how she has a boyfriend, but she doesn't even care to show said boyfriend any type of love. I plan on leaving her because I hoped things would have gotten better, but no. TikToks have gotten more frequent and annoying, and I'm just done with it. I'm tired of pretending to be happy. Oh, that's a bit sad though. I don't think she likes you. I think she likes the idea of you, and I feel like a lot of girls do that. They find someone, they start dating them, and they fall in love with this idea that they've created in their head of somebody. Like, we all do it. I've even done that. You date someone and then you create this idea, and when they don't live up to the idea, you just get the ick. You're just like, who is this person? But the person's just being who they are. She loves the idea of you. She likes the fact that she has a boyfriend, but she wants a boyfriend that's a certain way, and you're just not that guy. I just feel like you're not the guy for her. I feel like you have two different ways of loving, and your love languages are probably different as well. It's just a whole thing. Like, she's just not that into you. I have to read some of the comments. This one says, does this girl even like you? Do yourself a favor and date someone who will care about you equally and put in efforts to demonstrate as much. I also think the comparison is the thief of joy. When you spend your life or spend your time comparing yourself to these TikTok people, to these Instagram people, half the time it's made up. People are not living the lives that they're portraying on Instagram and on TikTok. This girl saying that she's in princess mode and he's paying for her nails every week and he's taking her on dates, but you don't know what's going on behind those dates, and you don't know she can actually be paying for the date but just posted on TikTok that she's doing, what's this thing? Soft life. I'm not saying that nobody's having soft life, but not everybody's having that. Her boyfriend might pay for the dates and pay for the nails, but she might see him once a month, or he might be having another girlfriend, or you know what I mean. There's so many nuances that comes with that, and I just feel like, don't compare yourself to something that's created. She created it. She literally edited the video. She made it look a certain way. I feel like everybody is just showing you the highlights of everything, and you have to remember TikTok and Instagram is real, but only to an extent. It's everybody's highlights. But I do feel like you're just not compatible. You just want two different things, I guess. This is another comment. My ex-wife was in princess mode. She spent her days comparing her life to others. But we weren't well off. We had a nice 3-bedroom, 2-bath we rented for under market value and had decent money coming in, 17 an hour. Every week we would go out for dates that we would swap who planned it. Then her friends started getting divorced, and all of a sudden I could do nothing right. I would cook extravagant dinners and she would bitch about how I used too much garlic powder instead of actually garlic. Some minor shit like that. On top, her ultimate goal was not to work. She dreamt of quitting her job and living off my income alone. We didn't even have kids. She just didn't want to work. And the straw that broke the camel's back was when I messed up deferment on student loans and got slapped with a wage garnish. That meant her dream of quitting was over and she filed for divorce 2 weeks later. Yikes! But to be fair, I'm Nigerian. I'm gonna start off by this. I'm Nigerian, so I have a different thought when it comes to like getting married and stuff. I like working and I don't mind working, but I cannot imagine myself marrying somebody, having kids with somebody that cannot support the household. I'm not saying that has to be something that you can do now, but when we have kids, you should be able to support the household, because there might be a period of time I'm not going to be able to work. So it would worry me to marry someone like that. I just feel like, I don't feel like she's being delusional, to be fair. Like, I feel like it sounds harsh, but she knows what she wants. Like, I know what I want. I feel like there's nothing wrong with that. I feel like you can have your standards. I don't want to call it standards, because I'm not saying that if you don't meet this income requirement or this requirement that I don't have to work, that you're below standard. But if that's what somebody wants, it doesn't make them a bad person, and it's not because they're watching TikToks. Because I don't know, maybe because I grew up in a household where that wasn't a crazy idea. I'm not saying that I came from a really rich family that had mansions and anything like that. I'm not saying that, but the way I grew up before TikTok, before the internet, the idea of marrying someone that is going to look after the household financially while you take time off work, it's not a crazy idea to me. I just feel like that should be kind of normal. I just feel like maybe it's just upbringing. Maybe it's upbringing. But it's so hard to say, because the internet does make you feel like you're a gold digger or you're unrealistic when you have these type of thoughts. But I have to kind of agree with her. Like, first of all, I wouldn't marry somebody that's making $70 an hour. No, I don't think I would do that. I don't think I can date and marry somebody that's on 35k. It's just, I just don't want my standard of living and my children's standard of living to be there. I feel like she was hoping that you was going to change, and when she's just realizing that she's not going to get that, and like, yeah, you're cooking your thing, you're probably annoying, she's just probably frustrated by you. And the way a lot of men think it is like, oh, I'm not making enough money, okay, she's gonna say bye. I'm telling you, women are more complicated and have more layers to that. You've seen women really stick by guys that do them dirty, that are broke. Like, I see way more women going through financial stress with men than men going through financial stress with women. I know personally women that have given up thousands of pounds, dollars to a man, but he didn't do it for her. I kind of feel like this notion that women take men's money is bullshit. In reality, that's not the case. A lot of the time, it's the man taking the woman's money. So that's another reason why I wouldn't date a man that I feel like wasn't financially, you know, up there, because this just sounds like I'm going to be out of pocket. And that's the fact of everything. It just sounds like I'm going to be out of pocket. And on a side note, I do think you should be earning enough to be able to look after me and the kids when it's time. I just think that should be a standard, period. But I don't know if we should blame men for that, or do we blame capitalism? It's so hard to, who do you place the blame on, you know? But I just know for me, I probably won't be, you don't have to be a millionaire, but I probably won't be dating a man that can't look after me and the kids if I had to take 5 years off to raise the kids. Like, I'm not gonna be stressing myself out. Or if you want me to work, we're gonna have to pay for a nanny or whoever to come and look after them. I'm not doing both the jobs. It's either I'm working like you, bringing money into the household, but I'm not taking the responsibility of being a full-time parent, full-time caregiver, mum, and working full-time. I'm just not doing that. And yeah, you can say we're gonna split between the husband and stuff, but realistically, the woman takes on more of the responsibilities when it comes to like raising a child. Let's be real, because you're the one that has to breastfeed and stuff, especially when they're really young. So yeah, I won't be doing that to you, girl. I would have divorced you too. Bye, girl. Okay, this one says, my friend just died and now her husband keeps trying to hit on me. These people are so shady. Like, can you get a hold of yourself? I found out that my friend passed away yesterday. I found out because her husband used her Snapchat to tell me to call him. After telling me about what happened and me crying, he starts asking if we can be friends. I said, of course. Then he tells me he's been waiting 2 months before dating again, but we can still hang out. Weird, but okay. What? Then he starts asking me what he should do with the kids. Oh my god, they have kids together and he's doing her like this. People are so dirty. The older I get, the more I realize people are dirty. Even the people that are the closest to you, they can be they can be really dirty. Some people have no moral compass. You can literally be sleeping next to the devil. It's scary. He's trying to move to her friend. Then he started asking me what he should do with the kids so we can hang out together. I'm getting very weird vibes, so I ended the call. He immediately creates his own Snapchat account and adds me, then texts me his number. And now it's non-stop messaging, asking me when we can hang out. Oh my god, am I being dramatic or is this weird? Your wife just effing died, dude. I was friends with her for longer than you guys even known each other. You two have young kids. The last thing you should be doing is asking about my dating life. No, that's crazy. That's crazy. Someone says, gotta find a new wife to help take care of the kids. Remember that post was on here a few months ago where the dad got married 3 months after his wife died. It's more common than you think. Whoa. The sad thing is there are some women who would run to him with eyes wide open and ignore the glaring red flag of a man looking to replace his wife 2 months after she died. It's not been 2 months, it's been a day. He is a red flag. Just a thought, he's very codependent and isn't handling being alone very well. This could be a coping mechanism. That's true though, he did just lose his wife, but oh my god, have some respect for her. Not her close friend that she's been friends with for years. That's crazy. What are you doing? I know a lot of men who move on quickly after the death of a spouse because they can't be alone, but that's too fast. Either he's been scoping you out for a while or he's been struggling with the death. Those poor kids. That's got a nasty taste in my mouth. I think that's nasty. I feel like that's just too soon, and I feel like it's disrespectful because it's his wife's friend. I guess that could be a coping mechanism, but I don't really know. I just can't imagine that being your way of coping? Why go to her? Like, where's your self-respect? Where's your respect for your wife? Where's your respect for your kids? It's even the kids, you want to bring somebody in. Like, this is just, it's just too much. You want to bring somebody in when they're grieving, like you're trying to replace their mother. It's just, do you even care about anybody other than yourself? That's just crazy, in my opinion. Like, that's side eye, serious side eye. Like, imagine a funeral. Like, what? You are something else. And I've seen a lot of the comments saying that a lot of men do it because they need help raising their kids and stuff. But they're your kids. They're your kids. Why do you need help raising your own kids? They're your kids. Like, why are you trying to recruit someone else to be their mum because you don't want to take on responsibility of looking after your kids? Look after your kids. They're your kids. You know what I mean? If you need help, hire a nanny. You know, call your mum, call your sisters, call somebody, a friend, to help you with some things. But why do you need to come and bring in another woman to take her place? Like, do you only seek women in your life so they can just make your life easier for the things they can do for you? Or do you actually seek love, a connection, intimacy? Like, it's just, I think it's crazy. I think that's a crazy thing to even like say. Well, you need somebody to come and help you look after your kids. And a lot of men do it because they can't be alone because of codependency. So you need somebody just to help you do. Like, be a grown-up and just look after your own kid. Anyways, guys, that is it for today. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And I will see you in the next video.